Let's get Natalie on the horn over on Skype.
Yes.
Let's see if this works.
I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
I'm excited to hear what she has to say too. Okay. Got a lot to get to today.
Yeah.
It could be an 8-hour show.
Dear God.
Do you have that kind of time?
No.
Hello.
Hey, Natalie, what's going on? It's Rob and Nicole.
Hey, Rob. How are you?
Hey, Natalie.
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Who's that in the background?
This is Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. I can't hear her. Sorry.
Hi,
Oh.
Natalie.
We'll get her to speak up for you. Natalie, I will ask you the question I'm sure people ask you all the time. What do you make of what Russell is doing this season?
Well, I get this question a lot. This is probably the most popular question I get from this season. I guess the first of the season, I was actually proud of Russell for scaling it back. Some of his aggressive play. He seemed to kind of let Boston Rob, kind of take the lead a little bit. In the beginning, he kind of just stepped back. I was proud of him for that because on our season, he did not do that at all. What I'm concerned about is here towards the end, how aggressive he has been and, how he's kind of treated people. And just, it's just like any other season. I mean, the jury is, definitely a huge concern. So my thing is, if he were to make it to the end, has he, ticked off too many people? Has he, treated people too bad for them to vote for him in the end? If he were to make it, I mean, I know there's 5 left, but, but I think that he's playing an awesome game.
Yeah, he is certainly exciting to watch. That there's always the jury question with Russell. But do you notice, as somebody who has played with him and now seen him play again, can you put your finger on any one difference that is he playing any different than he did last time, other than the stuff that you had mentioned about with Boston Rob earlier in the game?
Honestly, no. I mean, he, Parvati even mentioned, I think it was last episode, that he uses scare tactics. And that's exactly what he does. So I don't really see a difference other than what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I apologize that I didn't ask you right off the bat. How are you doing, Natalie?
Oh, well, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Rob?
Yeah, we're doing good. How have things changed for you
Life
now
after
that
the
you
million.
Are you ready to give up your crown of Survivor champion this weekend? And pass it along to the next Survivor champion?
I think that Survivor is just one of the most amazing games. It's probably the most extreme thing that any of us will ever put our bodies through. Just to even get a show is a big deal. To make it to the end is an amazing accomplishment. So, these guys that have played before, some of them have played twice, some of them even 3 times. And, I give them props for being able to go out there again and again to mentally prepare themselves, 2 times, 3 times, because it's not easy. So I'll be looking forward to see who wins.
Yeah, and you've been a big Survivor fan from the get-go, right?
Yeah, I've been a fan a long, long time. I saw some of the seasons in the beginning, missed some episodes here and there when I was in school and things like that. But the last several seasons, I haven't missed any episodes at all.
Yeah, and this has been one of the best, no?
Absolutely. I was impressed from the first episode. And sometimes I think that Survivor is a little bit harder to watch in the very beginning because you don't know who anybody is. You have 18 or 20 players, and you're trying to figure out who each character is. Whereas with this season, you kind of already know who people are, and it just was amazing from the first episode on.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. Yeah. But it's been, I feel like there's been so much of the attention has been about Russell, and is he making the exact same mistakes that he made last time, which ultimately cost him. Did you feel like that was a good move last week when Russell voted out Danielle and blindsided her in front of Parvati?
I made her cry.
Okay, there's a yes and no there. I don't think that it was a good move that he made her cry and he put her on the jury. I'm sure she's going to talk to people. So I don't think that was a good move. I do think that it was a good move that he did break Danielle and Parvati up, because from what we've seen, Danielle and Parvati were really, really tight. They were really close. And if you can't have a threesome that's really close. I mean, it's usually going to be only two people. So Russell understands that too, that Danielle was getting in the way. He could have voted, he could have chosen someone else, I guess, per se, but I think that he made a good move. I'm not sure. I don't know how she'll vote. That's kind of a concern. If he were to make it to the end, I don't know who she would vote for. I would think, she's going to vote for someone that she likes.
Anybody but Russell.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. In watching this and from going through everything in Survivor Samoa, do you feel like Russell, and these seasons were taped back to back, do you feel like Russell came into Heroes versus Villains feeling like he had won Samoa?
I honestly don't know if he could have felt like, it was taped just 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know if he really felt that. The final tribal council, if people would have seen the whole entire thing, you have to understand, again, they only can, you can't see every single thing. Because the show only lasts 42, 43 minutes. So, maybe he did, but I honestly, at the end of it, I honestly didn't think, he's going to have the majority.
Yeah. So you felt like when you left that tribal council, you felt like you had a good feeling that you were going to be the winner.
Well, I had a good feeling. I definitely knew that I was in the running. I didn't feel like, I went to this tribal council and I totally screwed up. I went and I did the best I could, and I felt like I did a great job. And, I thought, afterwards, I thought, you know what? I've got a shot. And I thought, I've got a pretty good shot.
So were you just watching Samoa the whole time and Russell was talking so much crap about how he had everything under control and he was going to win the thing and he was the best ever? And were you just watching it like, no, you're not, buddy. Keep dreaming, buddy.
Well, I can laugh and I can take it with a grain of salt. He is extremely captivating and entertaining. It's funny to watch.
He's a character.
It's not fun, out there day 38 and 39, hearing someone talk, 24 hours a day about how they're the best ever and, everybody's going to love them and this, that, and the other, because you're emotionally, physically, and mentally at your worst. You're spent. So it's a lot harder to be able to cope with someone that is that way. It truly is.
I would imagine.
But, it was almost comical. It takes me back to those times. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I honestly, in my head, I thought, okay, I'm sure he believes this. I was out there 39 days with him, so I felt like I got to know him pretty well. But I also thought this could potentially be part of his gameplay. And so I knew that I was still going to go to the final tribal council and do my best, no matter what.
And you did.
Yeah. And you didn't just do your best. You really, you really kicked ass. What, 7-2-0?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, let me ask you a question. How bad is Mick to not even be able to get one vote in a final tribal council against Russel?
Well, Mick is an amazing person. He is hilarious.
He seems like a nice guy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding around.
And he's such a nice person. I don't know. I think that one thing that hurt him is he was designated as our leader. Yeah. And if you think it's the majority of the jury is Galoo, and Russell Swan was their leader, and they won challenge after challenge, whereas we didn't really win any challenges. And I definitely don't blame Mick. He didn't. He was chosen as leader. He didn't pick to be leader or anything like that. But I think from the standpoint that they were coming from, and I don't know, I haven't actually just talked to him about it. This is a sheer guess. And I'm just trying to reason with him not getting any, that maybe because of the whole leader thing and then us constantly losing, that potentially could have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
He's an awesome person. He's such a good person.
Yeah. This is something that I heard about that final tribal council. And of course, it's much longer than what they're able to show on television.
Sure.
That they asked you questions and you were able to answer all these things and tell everybody all these things about their families and stuff that you had remembered and stuff like that. You showed that you really got to know these people. Yeah, and how underrated do you feel like that is as far as when we talk about, the things that make a survivor win or lose the game?
That was something that I can remember in pregame interviews, them asking me if I was, how I was going to play the game and if I was going to make friends. And I said, well, absolutely, I'm going to be here to make friends. And they kind of laughed at me, and they're like, you know what game you're playing, don't you? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I was like, but I felt like I could separate the two. I could separate. Yeah. I know some people probably can't, but I felt like I could, and I just didn't want to come out, all this way, share this kind of experience with these people, and then not become friends. Because it's, how it is, it's brutal. And it's a blessing to be able to be friends with these people, because otherwise you would probably not ever cross their path. And so, I remember before the game ever started, I knew I was going to go make friends. Now, again, I knew that I was going to play the game too. For instance, Ashley and I, we were very close. We were great friends, and, I've remained great friends, but I still voted her out. So I knew I was still going to play the game, but it's not that I wasn't going to, make friends and all that. Yeah, I absolutely made connections with every single person on that jury. And I think that, I think that means a lot to people. Because you're there again, you're there 24/7. There's no commercial breaks. There's so much downtime. And so when you actually take a genuine interest in someone and their family, it made it to where I felt like I could answer the questions better at Final Tribal Council. I felt like maybe I would know their voting criteria a little bit better, potentially. But, every friendship and relationship that I built out there was very genuine. I wasn't thinking, oh, let me just memorize their kids' names or their mom and dad's names just so I can win. I don't think that that's what gets you a win at all. I think that things like that can factor into it. I think that Russell was so intensely disliked on our season that, there were a lot of things, obviously, that people don't see. Like I said, it's 24/7. Cameras are rolling. They clearly only have 42 minutes an episode. So there's a lot of things that people don't see. I knew the first and second day at Philafoa that he really rubbed people the wrong way. And I caught on very, very quick to that. So, what better than to be sitting next to a person like that? That after all, it's one thing to make it to the end, but it's another thing to get the votes. And that's the goal, is to get the vote.
Now, did Russell know that you wanted to go to the end with him because he was unlikable?
No. Oh my goodness, no. I always made it sound like, they're just going to think I didn't do anything, and so you're going to want me sitting next to you because they're not going to vote for me, so you can easily beat me. No, I never, and I would say, oh, well, you could probably get, Eric's vote because, or you could probably get Dave's vote because, so I would say things like that. And knowing in the back of my head, all these people that I was like, oh, I bet they'll vote for you because, I was thinking, the potential's there, but honestly, it's hard to say what people are thinking and feeling until you actually get there that night.
Do you think that it hurt Russell that he hasn't watched as much Survivor as you have? Like, does he not really understand how exactly... Like, he definitely understands how to get people out of the game, but if he hasn't seen the show a lot, does he understand really what that dynamic is of then the people going on to the jury have that final power in the end?
I don't think so. I think had he understood, I think that he would have treated people differently, because I felt like there were just unnecessary, malicious things, I guess you could say. But, there was no point. There was no reason for it. So, had he understood a little bit better, maybe that, okay, they're going to be voting at the end. They're the one that, awards the $1 million. Maybe he would have played differently.
Yeah, but he still continued in the second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
He still continued to play the same, malicious game again when he came back. So I don't know.
Sure.
He still didn't learn.
Well,
See.
And I think that's the polarizing type player and character that he is. That's the way that he plays. It's hard to know what he's really thinking sometimes.
Yeah, I had heard that Russell originally applied to be on Pirate Master, and he would be a great Pirate Master. Unquestionably, I think that I don't really understand the rules of Pirate Master, but Russell would undoubtedly be the greatest Pirate Master player of all time.
Yeah, I believe it. it.
What is the concept of that game?
I don't know. Apparently, you just screw people over and get them out of the game. And,
is that right?
And steal things. I think, if only there had been like a Pirate Master 19, Russell could have come along and
Pirate Master 1.5.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about last night's show a little bit.
Crazy episode.
Yeah, we saw another instance of Russell got mad that he didn't get to go on the reward. And then he made, buddy with Rupert and Colby. I combined them into Rupee. Rupert and Colby. And then he told Rupert, he said, Rupert, me and you, we're going to be the final 3. And then he voted Rupert out again. Why does he always do that?
I think that's just like when Russell finds an idol, he goes and tells everybody. I think that it's just the same pattern. He makes deals with every single person. It's just like it used to be. He makes a deal with every single person, so he's always got an option B.
Yeah.
But the problem is people talk.
Yes.
Just like with Danielle and Parvati, and he was very fortunate that he was able to get Danielle out last week because they did talk to each other. And so that could have very easily been his downfall.
Yeah. What did you think of Sandra when she talked to Rupert and said she wanted to get Russell out? And I thought this was very stupid of Rupert, that he's fighting for his life in this game, and then he goes back and tells Russell what Sandra says. Like, Rupert, you can make it 3 more days if you vote Russell out. Yeah. Oh.
I'm wondering, is there something we didn't see? Like, I'm not sure what transpired for him to do that because it doesn't make sense. But I'm just thinking, well, did something happen that, we don't know about? Or, because it was not a good move, obviously.
Well, a lot of what Rupert has done this season hasn't made a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's not beyond the realm of possibility Rupert does something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't, that's funny you say that. And I like Rupert. I've met him before, and he's a super nice guy. But, just like chopping up firewood at night or breaking stick. I
would have killed him.
No, that is not very courteous at all. Now, I don't know. Now, granted, he may have been trying to keep the fire going. I don't know.
Right.
Whereas we never had a fire going at night. So when people were doing those kind of things, I think that it was to just not be nice. So I don't know, was he trying to keep a fire going or was he doing it just to fight people? I don't know. But when people are trying to sleep, sleep deprivation out there, everybody is suffering from it. And it just doesn't help with people, chopping up firewood and doing crazy things at night when you're trying to sleep because it's hard enough to sleep out there, much less have someone do that kind of thing.
That was pretty kooky.
At least he wasn't roaring.
Yeah, Nicole actually does a good Rupert impression. Do you want to hear it, Natalie?
I want to hear it.
It's just a roar.
Come on, now the people are waiting.
Oh, okay, roar! I'm Rupert.
Didn't you think he was right here?
Yeah, it's just me.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So, what did you think when then Russell comes over and confronts Sandra, and he's like saying to her, "So, Sandra, you either with me or you're against me?" And she says, "Nicole, you want to say it?"
Oh, I'm against you.
I'm against you. What is she crazy saying that to Russell?
I loved it because, like,
yes.
obviously we knew she had the idol, And
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, okay, she definitely has power, but, any of those villains, they know they cannot let Rupert and Colby get to the end with them. I mean, they that's just not smart. I mean, that is not a good idea. So, with Sandra saying that, it seems like she's been trying to get him out from the get-go. And it kind of always seems like something happens. Someone messes up. Tyson messed up. And, someone always makes a mistake. And then, I don't know. There's been so many twists and turns, which has made this season so much fun. But I love how blunt Sandra is. And, she is a great strategic player. She understands the numbers game. And that is what this game is. It is a numbers game. She gets that. And I love when she says, as long as it ain't Sandra.
Yeah.
That's good. The show is called Survivor. You are trying to survive until the next round and ultimately be the last person standing. You don't have to be a bowling ball knocking, the other pins out of the way. As long as you're sort of dodging the bullets here and there and get to the end, it doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah, as long as you get to the end.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, anybody that makes it to the end deserves it. I mean, I didn't just make it to the end by doing nothing. There's no way I could have made it to the end. And, that's the case with anyone. I mean, you're obviously doing something right if you're at the
I
end.
did hear that Mick made it to the end by doing nothing. Is that true?
That is not true. He worked.
Just ignore him.
He worked 1,000 times. And you know how, camp life is a big deal. He worked 1,000 times harder than anyone else on the entire both glue and FOA. So he's an anesthesiologist for a reason. His work ethic is amazing. I mean, it's almost doesn't even seem possible. I mean, I didn't ever think anybody, I always say no one can ever outwork me. But I'm telling you, Mick was a machine. And he and I both did work extremely hard around camp. And those are things like, obviously, that, are probably kind of boring, so people don't really see. But, that's a huge factor. Camp life is. That means a lot to people when you're, working hard around camp. Nobody wants someone that's lazy around camp or that eats all the food. I can remember back earlier this season, I think they were making a big deal because James was eating more bananas, but it's truly like that because you expend so many calories doing like the smallest things. So every little bit helps. Everybody needs to pitch in. So when you have that one or two people just not doing anything, it's extremely frustrating because then you're having to spend extra calories they're conserving there so they can potentially do better in a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there a lot of bananas around in Samoa? Did you find that?
No. I mean, okay. Foa camp, which is, we had a lot more bananas. The problem is once you cut them down, it takes forever for them to turn. But you can cut them up and cook them. I mean, you don't want to eat them raw, but if you cook them, they're not bad. You can eat the skin as well. But Galoo, their camp was just nothing. There was no bananas. I mean, I don't even remember a single banana tree. There were very few papaya trees. I mean, there was hardly anything. There was hardly any crab at that camp. Whereas, the Foa camp, there was a lot more of, bananas. And, I mean, not that there was a plethora of them. I mean, especially when you have 8 or 10 people, you're lucky really to get a banana a day. Yeah. And then because they have to last, which of course they didn't. But we were only there 19 days. The last 20 days we were at Galoo camp. So there just wasn't that much food.
I want to ask you a question about Russell. Let's say hypothetically, I know everybody's sort of saying, okay, well, he's going to go to he'll go to the end because people want to go up against him. But let's say somehow he gets out one of these next 2 rounds and he ends up on the jury. Do you think if Russell was on the jury, let's say Parvati and Sandra pull in Colby or that Jerry and they backstab Russell?
Okay.
Do you think that Russell would then vote for somebody in the finals that backstabbed him, or do you think that he would look at it as payback and vote for somebody else?
Question.
That's a hard call. I mean, I think it would depend on who was in the final 3. I don't think he would vote for Colby no matter what, because I think no matter what, he's going to want a villain to win. So that kind of already marks Colby off. So that leaves Jerry, Sandra, and Parvati.
I think we all did.
He's never been in, huh?
We all did. Colby marked off.
Yeah, he's never been in with Sandra at all. So I honestly could never see him voting for Sandra. Leaves Parvati and Jerry. I think that he was upset with Jerry for her not choosing him or the reward. I think that would be a tough one between Parvati and Jerry, who he would vote for. He may be so mad at all the things that Parvati did that he might not vote for. But then again, he may look back and say, well, I respect that she did this, that, or the other. I don't know. I think it would depend on how he got voted out.
I feel like he's such an emotional player that if you screw him over, because you screw him over in the game, he votes you out. You disagree with him, he votes you out.
Yeah, I could never see him saying, oh, well, I have to tip my hat that was a good move. I'll give you my vote.
He'll say that he would do that, but I'm honestly, I really don't think he would do that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
His MO is you screw me, I screw you.
Because in the game, you know how it is. Even like if you go to Ponderosa, everything's still really emotional. It's not like you've already come home and you've been able to watch the show and then you vote. Yeah. It's not like that. So just in that mindset that you're in when you vote, I could definitely see him saying, well, you screwed me over, so I'm not voting for you. Or I don't know. I think it would depend on, who he was close to. He was obviously, pretty close to Parvati throughout this whole season. But him and Jerry seem to, being pretty good too. Jerry pretty much has gone with him. She definitely flipped when they were back at the Villains tribe, and she stuck with him the whole time. She changed her vote. It looks like, I don't know if she was for sure, like when Danielle got voted out. I just remember Russell, mouthing to Jerry, Danielle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was, pre-planned. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a hard call.
Okay. So this season, we've also seen Russell be snuggling a lot with Parvati. Did Russell ever try to snuggle with you when you were on Survivor Samoa?
Oh my goodness, we all snuggled. We were desperate.
Whoa.
We were desperate. We literally were like sardines. I can remember at Foa when it was Jason, Mick, Liz, Ashley, myself, and Russell, all six of us, literally were like sardines all snuggled together. We were so cold because I cannot even explain to you how brutal it is at night. It looks like they have more clothes this season. I had that measly dress.
Yeah.
It was so frigid out there. Absolutely frigid. No one can understand how horrible it is to be that cold. I'm really cold-natured anyway, but the thing is, again, you have hardly any fat on your body, and you just don't have the extra calories to spend shivering. So everybody really snuggled with everyone. In the beginning, it's funny, Mike and Betsy, I would snuggle with them in the beginning. I was always in between those two. And then after, Betsy was voted out, and then Mike was medically evacuated, I would just jump from person to person. I was kind of always that leftover person, that would just be I would snuggle with whoever. Because it's so frigid. Everything is very, very, on our season at least, everything was very innocent. There were no romantic anything.
No hanky-panky.
I made it no secret the very first day I was there that I had a boyfriend. And,
yes.
Mick, Mick is engaged now. Jason had a serious girlfriend. Russell is married. So, I was actually on probably just a perfect job. But even at Galoo, Laura was married. John had a very serious girlfriend. So, those are things that obviously we talk about. So there were absolutely no romantic anythings on our season.
It would have been different if I was there, Natalie, because I would have been snuggling with Shambo.
Well, Shambo, when she came to, and that's the thing, is when she came to our camp, she was at our camp, for 6 days. She snuggled with us too. It was, you're so desperate. It's so cold in the rain. it rained for 3 or 4 days straight on us.
Yeah.
Just torrential downpour.
Shambo seems nice and warm.
Shambo's, she's got a great heart. She and I got along really, really well. Not that anybody really saw that. They saw what she said to me at the final tribal, which was out of nowhere. It looked like she hated me, and I was shocked.
What did she call?
She said,
said
I've got it. She first called
feckless,
Mick
right?
feckless. Well, she called Mick feckless, and then she said to me, I got a word for you, and it starts with a C. And I'm like,
Ooh,
thinking, where's she
yeah.
going with this? And then she's like, coattails. And she's like, basically, Mick and Natalie, I would never vote for y'all. Russell, you're getting my vote or something like that. So I was like, okay, well, guess I lost her vote, but whatever. There's 7 more. There's 8 more. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about
That's so
one
wacky.
when there's 8 more.
I know you weren't there long. Did you happen to notice, did Shambo happen to stumble across a dictionary at the Ponderosa?
I have no idea. I really don't know. And, the
first big word she
interesting
used.
thing is, though, it's water under the bridge with us. We buried the hatchet. I mean, she apologized to me even after tribal council that night and was just like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I don't know what got into me. And she was like, I feel really bad that I said that. She was like, you were the nicest to me, and I can't believe I was the meanest to you. And I was like, It's a game. I get it. You've apologized. That's it. And that's been the end of it. I don't have an issue with her. I actually talked to her this week, as a matter of fact, and she's doing well. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, I try not to hold a grudge against anyone. And definitely if they come to me and say, you know what, I'm really sorry. And, we just buried the hatchet. And again, I think in Survivor, you're kind of a victim of circumstance, being that you're stuck with this group of people. You're starving, you're malnourished, you're sleep deprived, you're dehydrated. That's like your worst comes out for sure.
Yeah. All right, one last question with Natalie White, the winner of Survivor Samoa. This weekend, we're going to get down to the final 5, down to the final 3. Are you rooting for Russell to win this season? Or do you feel like if Russell wins this season, then people will say, oh, see, he should have won last season? Or do you think it will be, if he makes it to the finals and loses again, do you feel like this will, people will say, you see, the guy doesn't deserve to win the game?
Okay, well, there's a couple of ways I'm going to spin this. Of course, if he makes it to the finals and does not win, I hope that people will at least say, all right, Natalie probably did a lot more right than what we gave her credit for. If he, lost twice, there's obviously something that he didn't do, correctly. That's like, I think of Amanda, she didn't win China or fans versus favorites. So, I felt like people were probably pretty hard on her, and they were like, well, she obviously didn't do something right. So I know that I was not near as captivating or as entertaining as Russell was. But at the end of the day, I played my heart out. I played the best game I could play and what I was equipped with. And the goal is to win the game. It doesn't matter if you're the most entertaining person ever. I couldn't have acted like Russell. Everybody would have hated me. Not only would America would have hated me, and I definitely wouldn't have won, but Russell would have probably voted me out. Yeah. So, I had to adjust to the people I was playing with as well. So, a little bit of it is like, well, if he doesn't win, if he makes it to the end, will people at least give me a little bit more credit? I don't know. We'll see. If he makes it to the end and does win, I'm going to be happy for whoever wins, because whoever wins, it's just an amazing accomplishment. Any way you look at it, the person that wins deserves it. They did something right. So anybody that wins, no matter who it is out of these final 5, great job. Hats off to him. I like all 5 of them. I've enjoyed this season so much.
Even Colby? even Colby you like?
Do what?
Even Colby?
Yeah, I always say there's a lot of luck in this game. A lot of time, that you've played. There's twists and turns that you don't know about that it's, you have to adjust to. You just don't ever know. So, I've actually never met Colby in person, so I don't know.
No, he's a good guy, Colby.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, but I can tell you I wish some of these challenges that they've had this season, I wish we would have had some of them. I feel like I would have been more equipped to play some of the ones this season, especially towards the end and on ours. ours were so physically demanding, and I felt especially being, toward the end, being the only girl. So I weigh like a half to a fourth of what any of the guys weigh, and even the slowest guy, I'm going to be, even if I'm the fastest girl ever, I'm probably still going to be slower.
Well, hey, don't second guess it. You won. You got it. You got it right. Yeah. Better to win and not win the immunities than to win all the immunities and lose.
Well, and the thing is, that's the tricky thing. You've got to, contribute enough from the get-go that they don't vote you out. But after the merge, you've got to be not too much of a physical threat because everybody's terrified of you if you keep winning challenges.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a happy medium, and you have to be careful and all that. So, I'm not particularly, again, I've watched all of these players. I've enjoyed them all throughout the years, and I'm just happy for every single person that's made it to the final five because it's a big deal. And then whoever makes it to the final three and who wins, I would be, happy or elated for any of the final five.
Yeah, especially in this season.
Yeah. Natalie, do you have anything you want to send people to go look at or a Facebook or anything like that?
No,
a fan page? Well, do you want to remind people to check out russellgotscrewed.com this weekend?
Actually, I think that website got shut down.
Oh, really? I have a feeling it might start back up real soon.
I don't know. I mean, I think that it's like a big, long story. I'm not sure the whole background or whatever, but I think that it got shut down and all that stuff. So who knows? But, we'll see. I mean, there's 5 left, and I'm looking forward to, the finale. And, I'm just as anxious as anybody else is to see who the winner is. I literally am just so excited, and I cannot wait to sit.
What's your prediction?
Out of the final 5, if I had to pick who would win, I feel like Colby has possibly the most friends on the jury at this point.
Yeah.
But then again, I have to think, well, maybe not. I'm trying to think, did Jerry make anybody mad? Or, I feel like even Jerry potentially...
Only on U.S. Airways. Only on a U.S. Airways flight. Other than that, she has not made people mad this season.
I kind of feel like Jerry might. If all these 5, I feel like Jerry has a great shot. Coach, Courtney, even I feel like really she could have a great shot into getting the vote. Unfortunately for Russell, I'm just not sure. I just don't see JT or Rupert voting for Russell. I really don't even see Coach or Courtney voting for him.
Probably not.
And then you've got Parvati. I know that she's got, I feel like Danielle would potentially vote for her. I really don't know, who else would vote for Parvati. I don't know really the connections. I know she is a very, she's just one of those people that you like to be around. She's fun, she's funny, she's very captivating. So I do not underestimate her social game, even the slightest.
Yeah.
So I could potentially see every single person voting for her, actually.
I think Parvati's going to get it.
I don't think she's made anyone mad. I guess that depends if she makes it to the final 3. Then you've got Sandra. Sandra, I think it all depends. I think Courtney could potentially vote for Sandra because they kind of, were together in the beginning. I think, I don't know. It's a hard call.
It's tough to figure.
But I think Sandra has a good shot as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll find out on Sunday.
Yeah, and we'll see. Just in case, I'm gonna go pick up the URL russellgotscrewedagain.com, and then he'll give me $10,000 because he'll want that to be his new website.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Well, I'm looking forward to the final episode. I'm looking forward to see who's going to be in the final 3 and how the final 2, whatever it happens to be. And,
Sunday night.
You never know. It could be a final 2, it could be a final 3, it could be a final 4 for all we know. I don't know.
Ooh, March Madness.
I guess that would be something new, right? They've never done a final 4, have they?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's mix it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe that could even be a final 4. Who knows? You know what? What was it, day 36 when Rupert got voted out?
Yeah. Something like that.
So there's 3 days left. I would assume that at least one more person goes, but what if not? What if they did this final 5?
That's Survivor. It's always changing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is they always want to keep everybody guessing. They always want to keep us guessing and, on our toes. That would definitely be a shocker. So that would be a surprise. So, who really knows what they're going to do? If they did this final 5, whoa, that could be crazy. Because
that would be crazy. That would be crazy.
There would only be 7 votes. There would only be 7 votes available. So
yeah, they probably won't do a final 5. It would be a really boring 2-hour show on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. So
yeah.
Anyway, but thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. This was great.
And enjoy the final.
Yeah, and Natalie, I hope that you eventually you get the credit that you deserve. You are the rightful winner of Survivor Samoa.
Yeah.
And I hope eventually one day everybody comes to realize that.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. But at the end of the day, I got the most amazing experience.
And a nice check.
And $1 million.
And, my family and friends know who I am. And, I'm proud of myself for going out there and playing the game that I played. And, I feel like I did earn the votes that I got. So,
okay.
People have their own opinions, and that's okay. It's a TV show, it's a game. And so at the end of the day, I'll always look back at my experience feeling so thankful and so grateful that I even got the opportunity to go. And that's what I remember. And I just choose to focus on all the positive things.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Natalie, thank you so much. Best of luck. And hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you again so much.
All right.
Thank you, Natalie.
Take care, Natalie.
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, that was Natalie White.
Yeah, she's such a nice girl.
Yes, she's a real sweetheart. And I do, I feel that, she probably does get, a lot of people come up to her and say, oh, you shouldn't have won. Russell should have won. And I always say, whoever won should have won.
Russell should not have won. He didn't understand the full concept of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I always say that?
No.
I don't know. What do I always say? I said, "Oh, there's no worst winner." Is that what I say?
Something
like that. I don't know. Hey, you know what? For the most part, if you got the money, you deserved it.